Okay, welcome everyone for joining the GMT analysis session. And for those who are new to this channel, thanks for joining Grow Money Trading channel. And like our weekly analysis in today's session as well, we will be going through the indexes, US market indexes and Canadian index, and also we'll cover the uh, futures for gold and crude oil, and then we will go on to the request from members who are on the call and uh, those who have already requested in the chat. Um, so before we begin with this session, I believe most of you would be familiar with the GMT's website. Uh, we would be having our next batch starting in the uh, first week of the next month. So if you are interested in learning from the course, feel free to enroll from the course. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Those who are already in the batch and have had good experience, feel free to refer. We do have referral rewards as well. And for this batch, it will be 4 weekends batch, which will be starting on July 5th. All right, so this date is tentative, but yeah, if you are interested and willing to learn from the GMT course, feel free to go ahead and enroll. With that, we'll start with the analysis of the major US market indexes. We'll start off first with SPX. And as of the last week analysis, we expected a drop in the market, which has happened in the last week. And if you look closely, the last week's candle, uh, it has almost engulfed or covered the previous week's candle and is downward. The indicators have reversed downward as well. And with the news that came over the weekend, to be specific, yesterday evening, where Donald Trump announced that US has done a very targeted attack on the nuclear sites in Iran, that could bring more volatility. And we'll have to wait and see when the futures market open. But looking at what we see on the SPX index, you can expect the market reaction to be negative. The weekly indicators are downward. If you look on the daily chart, the last week's candle, it has engulfed the body. Last day's candle, it has engulfed the body of the Thursday's session. It did take a bit of support. That's why we see close slightly above the mid Bollinger Band, which can be expected to act as a weak support at this point, since the Williams R and RSI are still downward. If this mid Bollinger Band support breaks, which is highly likely, um, we can easily expect a free fall to the lower Bollinger Band, and there is a small gap up here, which could be the next level to watch for. Currently, SPX is at 5,967, and the lower Bollinger Band is at 5,832, which is over 132 points. Um, this gap could be a good price for those who are taking swing trades. If this fall in the week is fast, meaning if it just takes 2 to 3 daily sessions to reach, then it could even drop further. And the next level to watch for would be the 200 EMA of 5,715. If we look on the weekly chart, the mid Bollinger Band is at 5,748, and there's a small gap here which closes at 5,715. So if you're looking for medium to long term, the stronger support looking at both daily and weekly chart is at 5,715. If we go on to Nasdaq, similar pattern. The candles have formed almost same pattern on the weekly chart. Um, it closed at 21,626. The Williams R is in overbought and has flattened. RSI is at 58 and has flattened. The 5 EMA is at 21,384, which could be the immediate level to watch for in the coming week. And we have other EMAs lower which can act as the support. The weekly level to watch for Nasdaq would be at 5,000 at 20,384, uh, which which closes this gap around 20,000 to 26, which could be the stronger support on a weekly basis. If we look on the daily chart clearly, I will just zoom for everyone. If you look at the body of this candle on Thursday, it's completely covered by the body of the candle on Friday, which we call in technical terms, this candle has engulfed, and it's red candle indicating bearish pattern. The volume was very high, so probably the insiders had got some news about the US plans on Friday, and with the news being out, we can still expect reaction in the opening sessions on Monday. With the candle that it has formed here, um, the mid Bollinger Band, which could have been the previous support, it acted as resistance other here and could have been the support. There's highly likely that this support would get broken, and the levels on the daily chart to watch for would be the level here close to 21K, and then um, 20,236, which is also the level which we saw on the weekly chart. So these two major indexes indicate downfall, which means if you are holding tech stocks, be ready for seeing free fall for the major tech stocks. Let's see DJI as well, which is the another major index. Let me change this to weekly chart. For DJI, this somehow holding at this level, and you can easily expect it to drop to 41,651, which is the mid Bollinger Band. Uh, and if that breaks, the next support to look for would be at 41,241, which is this level where uh, we have to watch whether this support holds. But in terms of the trend, uh, the mid Bollinger Band here and also the upper Bollinger Band, if you see, it's clearly downward. So even the DJI index is confirming the coming week to be bearish. And if we look on the daily chart, the last three candles have been trying to hold this level, and we can expect that to break, to break, and it can fall to the lower Bollinger Band, which is at 41,693, which is very close to the level that we saw on the daily chart. So, unlike NDX and SPX, the drop for DJI from both weekly and daily chart doesn't seem to be that much, but definitely there is a support levels that you should watch for, um, and a clear indication that the market is expected to drop in the coming week. We also usually look at the SOX index, which is the semiconductor index. For the SOX, um, in the last week, the week before this, it had formed a high which it could not touch in the last week, and the candle that it has formed, although it has a small green body, but the candle is still very close to the gravestone doji, and it's in over bought region for Williams R. For RSI, it has not reached that level. However, with the major tech indexes that we saw on SPX and NDX, you can easily expect downfall for semiconductor stocks as well. And if we see on the daily chart clearly shows the bearish engulfing here, although there was um, small buying that happened towards the close just to bring it to the 5 EMA, which acted as the support on a daily basis. With the downtrend, you can expect this 5 EMA support to break and easily expect it to fall down. The Williams R and also RSI on the daily chart has clearly turned downward. You look at these indicators, uh, the indicators on daily chart are clearly showing a bearish move in the coming session. For SOX, mid Bollinger Band level here close to 5,000. This would be a support. 4,956 would be the first support to watch for. As it drops, the mid Bollinger Band level could also drop, and this level here, which has acted as resistance previously, could act as the first support. The stronger support would be the multiple EMS, which are almost merging here close to 47,772. So that would be about 700 points drop for SOX on a daily chart. And if it drops, uh, the mid Bollinger Band level here is at 4,621. That is still higher. So this EMA here is what is indicated on the daily chart. That's the level. If that drop is faster within 2-3 sessions, if it reaches this level, then it could you can expect it to touch this level of 4,632, and then it could also potentially close this gap. It may not happen immediately, because this we are seeing this gap on a weekly basis, but if they drop to the 200 EMA on daily chart happens quickly, or within 2 to 3 sessions, then it could potentially attempt to close this gap. So for those who are planning to take swing trade, you could look for this 200 EMA level. If you are someone who is planning to take semiconductor stocks for medium to long term hold, then you can wait for this gap to close. And This gap closes at 5,000, 4,530, 28 or 30. That would be the level for SOX to watch for. In the immediate sessions, if you haven't closed any of your semiconductor stocks like Nvidia, AMD, uh, then plan to close your positions and wait for entering it at a lower prices once uh, these lower levels are hit. Or if you are on these positions for medium to long term, then you could liquidate at least 25% or 50% of your position and then re-enter again at lower prices. All right, so that covers the major US indexes. We'll now take the Canadian index. It's again on a daily chart, so I'll quickly change to weekly. Just moving here. So for Canadian stocks, looking at the index, because the T, TSX index since April has been on the bullish run and was almost touching the upper Bollinger Band, expecting correction. The last week, last candle has started showing the start of a correction for the Canadian stocks. The indicators have almost turned flat and starting to turn downward. If you see MACD here, it has almost started to overlap, indicating the start of a correction or even small short-term bearish trend. With with the current level here, the mid Bollinger Band is way further down, which could act as a resistance, or even the high here at 25,850 would be the first level to watch for. If it breaks down further, then the mid Bollinger Band level here at 25,400, and if it drops down further, then the EMA close to 24,000 would be the levels that you should be watching for your Canadian stocks to re-enter. If we look on the daily chart, the daily chart also shows the start of a downtrend. The Williams R has clearly turned downward. RSI is still flattish, but in terms of the Bollinger Band, upper Bollinger Band, you can see it has turned downward. This red candle indicating the start of a bearish move, and even MACD has almost slightly, if you can notice, it has turned downward as well. And with the Bollinger Band being narrow, you can easily expect mid Bollinger Band on daily chart and even lower Bollinger Band on daily chart to be touched. So the lower Bollinger Band on daily chart, it's currently at 26,125, so which is about 3 360 370 points, uh, which is very easy to drop in matter of few sessions. With the Bollinger Band narrowing and in this shape, Bollinger Band, lower Bollinger Band may not act as a strong support. So the support levels to look for would be the further EMAs, and the level here at 25,500, uh, which was also the one of the levels that we saw on the weekly chart. and further would be the 200 EMA here, which is close to 25,000. So if it drops, it would be about 1500 points drop. So um, wait for the strong correction to happen before entering into any of the medium to long term positions for any of your Canadian holdings. Even if you are holding for the dividends, unless you have bought it at very lower prices, with the pattern that we are seeing on the daily chart, it would be good to book your profits and be on cash to enter at lower prices so that you can hold it for medium to longer term. Now moving on from the market indexes, let's see futures. Futures for crude oil, in the last week it had high opening, and then it was above the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly chart, and the market has pulled it down. The candle that it has formed, it could drop further. This might be slightly opposite to the war condition in the Middle East. So, based on this candle formation, and Williams are being in overbought region, I would suggest to just be watchful and not open any new position, um, as based on the weekly candles, looks to be in overbought. However, the demand pressure could have a opposite impact and could take its price higher as well. If we look on the daily chart as well, it had high opening, but then market pulled this price within the Bollinger Band level. So if there's any news which eases the demand, you can expect, based on the technicals, you can expect crude oil price to drop. And if it drops, the level to watch for would be the EMA level here at 66.25. If it drops down further, then the level to watch for would be the mid Bollinger Band level at 66. So, uh, in terms of new positions, either for crude oil or those who are trading crude oil futures, watch for the market uh, reaction on the crude oil price. Uh, Based on the technicals are indicating that the price should drop, which may happen or may not happen depending upon the uh, war news and the demand of crude oil. However, for those who are going to take quick trades, uh, in terms of the daily chart, the daily chart is showing bearish. I would suggest to take trades on the 15-minute and 1 hour chart, only for those who are going to take quick trades. Moving to gold futures, let me change this to weekly chart as well. For gold futures, gold has been on the rise. It's mid Bollinger Band, upper Bollinger Band, lower Bollinger Band is still upwards, even though it is almost close to the all-time high. And these candles are hitting the um, levels close to the high. the 5 EMA has been acting as a strong support. Even the last 3 sessions or 4 sessions, it has taken support at the 5 EMA. And you see the volume in the last session, the price has not moved, but there are more buyers coming in. And the reason being that whenever there is negative sentiment in the market, there are more buyers, as people tend to move their funds to gold. So you see a high buy volume for gold in the last week. From its current level at 3384, the upside would be, um, first target would be the high here, which is 34,485. And if you want to still hold, you could hold 10 to 20% of your positions for 3500 as the next target. The upper Bollinger Band is at 3555. Uh, but even if you are targeting 3500, that's another $120 from the current price. If it has correction, then the level to watch for those who would be planning to take new position, the mid Bollinger Band level here is close to 3194. If it moves up, you can expect this level to shift to 3200. So that would be the support level to watch for on a weekly basis. If you see on a daily chart, on the daily chart, it faced the resistance, you can say, or profit booking at the upper Bollinger Band level when it was trading above, and it has formed a narrow channel here. So at these price levels, if someone is planning to open new long position, it's not at a good price to buy. If you are holding, then you could still hold for the higher targets. The uh, first target on the daily chart is 3423, and we saw on the weekly chart 3500 and 3550 if you plan to hold further. Uh, at this price range, it's almost forming a narrow channel here. If you look at on the upper side, at this range around 3400, and this range around 3291. So it's trading in the narrow channel. It might give a drop until this level again, wherein if you would like to take small quantity position for the higher targets, you could. But for those who would like to hold for medium to long term, it's currently not at the right buy price. Once it has correction, meaning if it breaks this uh, small box level, upon correction, the level that we saw on the weekly chart would be the levels to watch for buying for medium to long term. All right, so with that, we have covered the indexes. Now let's also cover Bitcoin for those who are trading crypto. And I'll take on USD. For those who are in the course, Vivek sir has covered this during the class today, but I'll touch upon for those who are here on this session and would be watching the recording. All right, so for Bitcoin, we have seen in the previous analysis that we expected correction, which has started in the past 2 weeks, and the mid Bollinger Band level close to 94,000 95,200 or 95,000 was the level that we had suggested to watch for, which based on the last three candles on a weekly basis that it has formed, it can easily be expected to touch the mid Bollinger Band on the weekly chart. If it breaks this level, which should be a bit of a strong support level, seeing that it has acted as support previously here and then resistance here, it should act as support on a weekly basis. However, if it breaks, then the next level to watch for would be the 85K level here on a weekly basis. And if that breaks as well, then the lower Bollinger Band level close to 76K. But because we are seeing this on a weekly chart, it could take um, many weeks to even few months to reach this level. The immediate support level to watch for would be the mid Bollinger Band level close to 94K. Let's see on the daily chart. It's not showing up in the daily chart. Yes, let's see on Webull then. Yeah. So it's a clear bearish trend. The Williams R and RSI is clearly showing downfall. For those who are trading crypto over this weekend, you would have seen an extension of the drop that had already started during the week. It's currently under the lower Bollinger Band and is at an EMA. There's an EMA level here where it is, as of today, it is taking support since Williams is in oversold region. RSI is not completely in oversold region, but because it is in oversold region um, and below the lower Bollinger Band, there are some buyers coming in. However, looking at the weekly chart, the further downtrend can easily be expected, and the mid Bollinger Band here is close to 94,700, which it would touch based on the weekly trend. And we see a 200 EMA on the daily chart at 93,500, um, which is possible as well. So if you are trading Bitcoin or any of the cryptos and you are thinking that it has had a 6 days of drop and is a good time to buy, uh, in terms of very quick trade for few hours trade, it could be fine. But if you are going to take swing trade for few days or even medium to long term hold, it, at this based on this trend, it's just good to watch it to fall further, because it could act as a falling knife. On the daily chart, it has already done that, but it can certainly extend that fall based on the weekly chart. So, for those who would want to open up new positions at this time, it should just be in the watch list and wait for it to drop under 95K at least. All right, so I think with that we have covered the indexes and major commodities and crypto that we typically analyze. With that, I will open up for any of the requests from members who are on the call. So we can take those requests and then I'll go to the analysis of the stocks that are already requested by some of the premium members and other members in the GMT WhatsApp group.
Kamal, if may SOSX.
Okay, SOXS. So SOXS is a inverse ETF of SOX, and for SOX, we have seen that SOX is expected to drop, and since SOXS is a inverse ETF, if SOXS drops, SOXS is expected to go up. On a weekly chart, because it has dropped from a recent high in April at 53, the higher levels on the weekly chart, the EMAs are at quite high levels. For taking quick trades, because it's a inverse ETF, so you should be taking this trade uh, only for short term trades. From the current price level, uh, looking on the daily chart, the Williams R has reversed up. RSI has also almost slightly reversed up. If you look closely, um, it has closed at 954. It touched the 10 EMA 990, 991 in the last session, which acted as the resistance. So in the coming days, you can expect it to break this resistance with the SOXS fall. Um, can expect this EMA 10 level to break, and the next level to watch for would be the mid Bollinger Band here at 1090. So for those who have already entered SOXS or are planning to enter, the first target you could aim for would could be 990. It's currently sorry 1090. It's currently at 1093. Aim for few cents lower at 1090, and I will just on it on a 4-hour chart. Okay, so the first target for SOXS, for those who are already on it, 1030 would be the first target, and second target would be the level that we saw on the daily chart at 1090. If some of you are holding it above 1090 in case, then the next target level to watch for would be 1130. The support here is at 1137. In terms of targeting few cents lower, 1130 would be target 3, and target 4 would be $13 if it has a heavy sell off for the semiconductor stocks. The That could be the target 4 to look for. Okay,
Thank
Mohit.
you. Thank you, Kamal. Thank you.
Yeah. So, what's your average, Mohit?
927.
Okay, awesome. So, even if you look for first target, you would be closing at $1 per share,
Yeah. Thanks.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, any other request from anyone on the call?
Kamal Tesla.
Let me. Yeah. Yes, Vic, I saw your request for Tesla. Let's go on to Tesla. All right. Tesla on the weekly chart, Williams R has turned slightly downward. RSI is midway, but almost flattish with the other EMAs down. Based on the weekly chart, your upper Bollinger Band is downward. Your mid Bollinger Band is also downward. So expect Tesla price to drop. On the daily chart, you can see clearly the mid Bollinger Band has been acting as the resistance for Tesla. So with the current price, although Williams are on the daily chart has moved up because of the last session that it had higher high opening, and then it closed down, and it closed at 5 EMA, but other EMAs being down, and 200 EMA at 297, you can easily expect Tesla to drop to the 300 level, or this level close to 297 to 98. So if you are already holding Tesla, um, and if you are in profit, you could book profit for 50 to 75% of your positions and plan to re-enter. Or if you are watching to enter, this 298 level would be a strong support. As we see on the daily chart, it's at 200 EMA, and on the weekly chart, that's the mid Bollinger Band, and there's also an EMA which is merging to the mid Bollinger Band. Vivek, are you holding any Tesla positions?
I have some, man, but like I will average down once it comes down. Yeah, because like today there is a event, so I was thinking like that should have an impact. Um, but let's see. I don't know.
Yeah, we, that that event might be overshadowed by what's happening in Middle East. So we'll have to see how the market reacts, and watch for the Tesla's trading price in the futures market when it opens at 6 p.m. today. But based on
Sure, man.
the technicals, yeah, it indicates a drop. So if you are currently holding, uh, I would suggest to hold smaller positions
Mm,
and
yeah,
book some of your profit, and then you can re-enter.
sure, man. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hi,
All
Kamal.
right.
This is Mithul. Would you be
Yes,
kind
Mithun.
enough to review the SQQ? I know you just mentioned in the starting of the call because of the war situation, the technology stocks may go further down. But what are the levels that you're looking at, and what's your take on the call option for the July, let's say $25 July 2000 July 18, 2025 call for $25?
Okay, nice. Thanks, Mithul, for your request. So similar to what we saw for uh, SOXS, SQQ can also be expected to move up as the nasdaq 100 index. When we analyze, we expect the index to drop, and since this is also an inverse ETF, SQQ is also expected to go up. We see, because it's an inverse ETF, the levels uh, for targets for this to go up in the weekly term. If you see, currently it's at 2283. The next EMA is close to 2626, and then there is a small gap as well which it could fill. The EMAs and also the trend indicators here, Williams R CCI, these are in oversold, and expect that the SQQ price to go up. On a daily chart, it's very clear. There's a green bullish engulfing candle The Williams R and RSI has turned up, and the volume is also green, indicating there are more buyers for SQQ. And in the last session, it has taken resistance at the mid Bollinger Band. If this resistance breaks, the next level to watch for would be close to 24.24, and if it goes further up, the 26 level that we saw on the 26 that we saw on the weekly chart, that could be the second uh, resistance level. And then the third would be when it tries to close this gap. uh, this gap, it could take time, but in the near term you can easily expect it to go close to 24.50, which is also the upper Bollinger Band level, and then $26. So since you have bought a call for mid July, in terms of the strike price, you have chosen a right strike price. $25 strike price is a good choice, and also the expiry that you have chosen, you have about 4 weeks time, so that call could be rewarding based on the technicals that we see on the chart. Um, and the strike price and the expiry also uh, is good. So if it breaks this mid Bollinger Band resistance, your call, assuming that you might have taken in last uh, two or within last 2 or 3 sessions, your call should give you good return. Let me open the, and this is for those who trade options. And since Mitul has asked about it, your strike is 25, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it has closed on 89 cents, which is good. So you can see there's high interest at 25 and $26, which are the resistance levels that we discuss on the charts. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Kamal.
Yeah. So it's a good trade. Yeah, you can expect your call to go higher in the coming days. All right. Any other request, Mitul?
No, no, that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right. Wilshire would like to know about Google. For Google, last week we had suggested to watch for 169 level, which it touched in the last session. It has closed at 167.73. So it broke the uh, 200 EMA support here in the last session, and it has closed close to the mid Bollinger Band. You're looking on the weekly chart, upper Bollinger Band is downward, Williams R is downward, RSI is downward. It has taken support at the mid Bollinger Band level and the EMAs here, and also the lower Bollinger Band. But based on the indicators, especially the weekly trend indicators, it shows that it can drop further. And on a weekly basis, you should watch for the next support level. Here there's a EMA close to 159. uh, it almost touched this 164 would be the next immediate support. After that would be the 159 level. That could be the support level to watch for. On the daily chart, the Williams R has gone in over sold region, our RSI is still at 44. So based on RSI and also the candle that it has formed, you can expect it to drop further in the immediate sessions or very soon in the coming week. So at this level, uh, it's expected to fall further. Watch for the 159. I see there's a support here, which we saw on through the EMA on the weekly chart as well. And if it drops further, then 149, which is bit far, which is the lower Bollinger Band here. But for coming week, watch for it to drop to the next support at 159. And if it takes support and starts forming green candle on a daily chart, then you could consider. But based on the current pattern, uh, you should just keep it in watch list. Wait for buying.
All right. Thanks so much, Kamal.
You're welcome. Okay, so with that we will now go on to uh, the requests that have been made in the GMT groups. So Gaurav has requested for two Canadian stocks, which we will take on Yahoo Finance. It's MFC. MFC.TO, Manulife. Manulife on a weekly basis, it has closed below the mid Bollinger Band, which acted as the resistance in the last week. The MACD is still downward and almost touching the zero line. So on a weekly basis, it's on a downtrend. Let's see on the daily chart. On the daily chart, it gave a reversal, and I think based on which, if you would have entered already, the levels to watch for your target, this acted as the first resistance, and hence it had a red closing. Uh, if you have entered around this price, 4267 was your first target, and 4267 was the first target. Next target 43. Because weekly chart is showing downtrend, I would suggest to book your profits at the mid Bollinger Band level here. It's at 43.29. Um, Try to book few cents lower and wait for it to enter at lower prices, because the TSX index is also expected to fall. So in line with that, it although daily chart looks attractive because the RSI and Williams R is in oversold condition, but the weekly chart is not strong and indicates a further downtrend. So try to book your profits at the mid Bollinger Band. Um, if you want to hold, just hold fewer quantity for the level close to 44. In case if you want to hold for the higher target. But based on the weekly trend, it might be more safer to book your profits at the mid Bollinger Band level. Next is EQB. 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 Okay. EQB looks interesting, slightly opposite to the trend that we have seen for TSX. It has taken support at this EMA and has reversed on a weekly basis. Currently, it is at 93.72. Even though last session was red for most of the US stocks and also Canadian stocks, it was green, which shows the strength in this stock and would be good to hold. In terms of the next resistance levels to watch for, the first one is the mid Bollinger Band level here at 95.50, which could be a weak resistance, and you could consider to hold it for higher targets. 96.90 could be 96.90 could be the second target, and we are looking this on a weekly basis. The EMA here is close to 99, which could be your next target. And the upper Bollinger Band is coming downward. Um, and if it merges this EMA close to 100, that could be your target on a weekly basis. If we look on a daily chart, the last 4 sessions, it has been forming green candle. The positive thing is that it has closed above the mid Bollinger Band, which shows strength, and volumes have been green. It has, and the Williams R is upward, although Williams R has reached overbought. If it drops in the 1 or 2 sessions, the 5 EMA could act as a support and you could still hold for the higher targets. There's a gap down here which could be good in terms of targeting the gap closure for your profits. So from the current level, the upper Bollinger Band is close to 96.990 or close to 97, which could be your second target. We saw one target on the weekly chart, that's 99. The mid Bollinger Band here is at 95.40. You can watch this level just to see that it breaks this resistance, and if it breaks, then you can hold for 97 and 99 as your targets. The stock has bullish sentiment, at least looking at the six last 6 sessions. If you want to hold it safer, then you can keep a stop loss. The stop loss could be low of this candle. The uh, low here was at 90.93. If you are already on the position, um, and if you have entered somewhere here, you can take the low of this candle, which was the 5 EMA, as the close stop loss. The low here was $92.23. So $92 could be your stop loss. For your first target 96 or 97, second target 99 or 100. The EQB looks to be a good trade or good stock to hold, even if the market conditions are quite volatile and looking bearish. All right, next we will take RGC, which has been quite speculative, and since it has had stock split, it skyrocketed. We'll see on the daily chart, and then probably on a 4 hour or 2 hour chart rather than the weekly and daily. So after stock split, uh, it made a high, and since then it has been making lower highs. And the last candle is it has formed a red long red candle as well. The weekly trend indicators are downward. Can clearly see even on the daily chart it has been facing resistance on the EMAs. At the current level it can still be expected to drop further. In the last session it dropped 40%, but from the levels that it started before going high in the sky, before skyrocketing, uh, current price level is still above those levels, so you can still expect further correction. The 200 EMA here is at 1951, and the gap up that it had closes at $17. So there's still downside expected for this stock. So I would still suggest to keep this in watch list. Um, in 1 or 2 sessions, it might go up again and try to hit these EMAs as the resistance, but it would be very risky trade, and the trades more experienced traders would be taking quick trades. Um,
Oh,
Afif,
Kamal
yeah.
bhai, so my average buy price is around $43. So when can
Mhm.
I look to exit? Like, what should I do? Should I sell all of it right now, or should I just hold?
So if your average buy price is 43, uh, the 5 EMA here is at 42.10, which is still lower. Let's see. Okay, so on a 1 hour chart, the EMA here at 43.62 or at 45 here. The mid Bollinger Band is 43.62. So you can set your target at above 43.62 or 43.60 to exit from the position. But um, if you would like to give yourself an opportunity to have some profit if it gives a spike again, because it
Mhm.
is a speculative stock, so it might give a spike and you might get a chance to exit in some profit instead of loss.
Okay. And when can I
So
look to buy if I have some cash?
if you have some cash, this is not the stock to buy.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so because it's a speculative stock,
Mhm.
the long term trend for the stock based on this current trend cannot be
Decided.
predicted
Okay.
reliably. Okay, so
Okay.
with your current holdings I would suggest to keep a target either at 43.60 or at 45.50 and try to exit first before planning to open any new positions. Okay,
Okay.
if it has another 10% drop tomorrow, avoid averaging down,
Okay.
because still it's expected to drop until 17. If it
Mhm.
drops from the current price you would be in a big loss,
Yeah.
right? So are you holding this position on well simple trade?
Yes.
Okay, so it might not be possible to keep both target and stop loss. So keep a target so that if it gives a spike, because this is on a 1 hour chart, you can exit in break even or small profit.
Okay.
If it would have been another platform where like IBKR, when you can place target as well as stop loss, then I would have suggested to keep stop loss as well. But because simple trade only allows to keep target, so keep a target and watch closely so that if it gives a spike, you exit from the trade.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah, it could happen that when it touches this mid Bollinger Band level, there are some buyers who come in and take its price up, take it even beyond 45 to 49. Don't feel that you lost an opportunity. These are just speculative stocks where, as a retail trader, you have more probability of losing money than making. Okay.
Yes.
Great. So next one is TAK. So these stocks are typically momentum stocks, wherein unless you are already on the stock, it's you could end up holding it for very long term, because uh, the average price that you would have bought might be higher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so weekly chart, it's on a downtrend. Okay, should just keep the here. Okay. All right. So this is on a downtrend on a weekly chart. In the last two sessions, it has formed a red candle. It has not reached the oversold region yet. So in the coming week, you can expect it to drop slightly further. But if it drops, then it would be in the oversold region and could be at a level to enter. The daily chart is already showing that it is all in oversold region, but the lower Bollinger Band is still at $2.69, which is another uh, about 8 cents lower. Since it's a penny stock, the level here around 244. Yeah, so if you are watching this penny stock to enter, I would suggest to keep a limit by or watch it for reversal around $2.50. Um, that would be the level for buying. Buy at $2.50 for the first target at $2.80, which is 30 cents profit, and the next one is 290 cents. Third target should be $3. And if you want to still hold, $3.30 could be the third target, as on third or fourth target. Okay. All right. So based on the trend, expect further drop. Keep it in watch list and buy when it shows a reversal around $2.50. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. And next, you have requested for shop on TSX. All right. So shop on TSX. I will first open on the weekly chart first. Yeah. So the TSX index trend that we have seen, you can expect shop to be slightly similar, or shop's trend impacting the TSX index as well, or contributing to TSX index trend as well. So currently it is above the mid Bollinger Band. However, the upper Bollinger Band and lower Bollinger Band has turned downward. The next level here at 133 could act as a support, but we'll see on the daily chart, as that may not be a strong support. So let's see on the daily chart. It has formed a red candle on the at the mid Bollinger Band. The only positive thing is that the volume was green and Williams R had turned up. Williams R turned up because it had a gap up opening and then uh, it had some sell off. Um, Even though the volume is high, it in my view, in terms of trend, it doesn't look good for holding it for higher targets because it is at the mid Bollinger Band. It may give a spike which touches the upper Bollinger Band and starts falling down, uh, but the overall trend is downward. So, if you are planning to enter, wait for it to drop. The lower Bollinger Band here close to $139.40 would be the first support to watch for, and if it drops further, then the next level would be 133, and if it drops further, then the next level to watch for would be close to 113, which is almost $33 down. So that would be it would need a drastic sell off. For now, just keep it in watch list and see whether it takes support near the lower Bollinger Band here at close to 139. 138.7 is the EMA and the lower Bollinger Band is at 139.50. If it takes support, then you could hold. Um, Otherwise, wait for it to drop further. Are you already
Okay.
holding it or you're planning to enter?
Yeah, I'm planning to exit actually.
Okay.
I'm holding some already. Yeah.
What's your average price?
Average price. Oh, I made a huge mistake. Like when it was falling, I was like, maybe I should buy it this time. So my average is around 145.
Okay. So if your average is around 145, you are still in profit. Um, but in terms of the EMA, 4 hours has a EMA at 146. This we are looking on a 1 hour chart for you to get the target. So you can target 147.50
Okay.
to exit from your current position. So this we are looking on a daily chart. On a daily chart, the upper Bollinger Band is at 147.70. Few cents lower, you can target close to 147.50.
141.50. Okay.
Okay,
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much.
you're
I also
welcome.
have Shopify in my museum.
Okay, so hopefully it gives you a good view.
Glad it's not a huge quantity. Otherwise, otherwise I would have been bankrupt because of Shopify.
Yeah. Okay. So we take next run. Okay. Run on a weekly chart. It has had a considerable drop last week, and in the last two sessions, it it didn't let it touch the lower Bollinger Band, but it has some buyers coming in. Uh, Although the weekly chart has not reversed yet, the daily chart has kind of reversed a bit and has flattened, um, because it is still termed under the close to the penny stock. By definition, penny stocks are around $4. This is uh, slightly higher, but still can be treated that way. With this huge gap down it has had, to gap downs in close sessions or close weekly sessions. The current level is attractive for a short-term trade. This the level here on Wednesday touched the lower Bollinger Band. It has had it reversed the Williams R, and on the last session it has closed at this almost high on Thursday. So if you are looking to enter, Ankit, uh, and I believe you would be looking to enter for a very quick trade, so the buy would be at the high of this candle, which is $6.20 could be your buy for a first target of $7, which is the EMA 5 EMA here, and second target the mid Bollinger Band, which is 770. So with a buy at 620, if we are looking at $7.70, it's almost 80 cents to $1.50 profit on a $6.20 stock, which could be good in terms of percentage. Okay, the upper Bollinger Band almost it touched the on a 4-hour chart. However, you should, if you are planning to enter this, you should enter with a close stop loss as well. So if you are entering at 620, the stop loss could be 535 here, few cents lower than the low, and take it for a very short term trade. Right? And Ankit is not on this call, so we'll move ahead. And next one is UCO. Okay, crude oil, we discussed the crude oil futures. On a weekly chart for crude oil, probably we will is giving slightly different view of what we saw on Yahoo Finance. The weekly chart, if you look at the volumes here, there has been heavy buying, and because of the news of Israel and Iran and US now actively joining in that war, so there could be pressure on the demand which could take it up. It on a weekly level it closed at 27.87, and the upper Bollinger Band is at 29.21, which is another 40 35 40 cents higher. Williams R has reached the overbought region, so there's some upside in terms of RSI, but not very huge. If you look on the daily chart, sorry, it formed a high of 28. Um, the last candle was still green, which and the previous candle had a lower price rejection. It took a support on the 5 EMA. So for UCO, unlike of what we saw on Yahoo Finance for crude oil futures, it still shows that there's still buyers interested to take its price up. So from its current level, you can expect it to go further up for about a $1 40 cents, not just 40 cents, or about $1 40 cents. So if you are already on it, you can aim for target at 29, and keep this low as the stop loss. In case if you are already on the position, you could keep a trailing stop loss with the low of this candle, which is 2634 can be your trailing stop loss for the higher target of $29. Once it hits that, the buy level to watch for would be the 200 EMA here at 25.25, and if it drops down further, then the mid Bollinger Band level here at 23 would be the buy level for ECU. All right, so with that, we will take one more. There's request in the chat here. I think we have covered the request in the chat as well. All right. So, any last request from anyone? Yes, Osama. Yes, please go ahead. Osama, feel free to speak out your request. Mankind. Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay, so for mankind on a weekly chart, we see it had touched the lower Bollinger Band, and there's a buyers coming in as it was in oversold region, both in the Williams R and CCI, and on the daily chart it was in the oversold region as well, and had reversed in the Thursday session. On Friday it opened higher, had a uh, red closing, that's why it slightly turned downward. However, at the current levels it technically looking good for entry. And I'm just zooming it out on a weekly chart just to see there's any chance for it to drop further. Let me see on a monthly chart. Okay. All right. So there's weakness on the weekly trend because on a monthly basis it was seeing a resistance at this level. The current level here was a monthly support rather. So the current level at close to $3.77 or $3.75 was the monthly support. On a monthly basis, there's still some downside, and if it drops, there can be further 50-cent drop, uh, and it around $3.30 would be a strong buy. However, if you are interested in entering at the current level as well, based on the weekly chart, it has been touching the lower Bollinger Band, and with the daily chart, it has had some reversal. If you have already entered, you can aim for $4 as the target price, the mid Bollinger Band. And you can watch if the um, uptrend is with high volume. If it is high volume, you can exit 50% of your position and hold it for the next target, which is closing this gap, and the level would be $4.30. And if it goes further, then the mid Bollinger Band and the EMA here merging at $4.70 would be the third target. However, if the volume is low, then expect that at a mid Bollinger Band level, it could face resistance and it could drop down further for the lower Bollinger Band level that we saw on the monthly chart. Okay, so at the current level, it's good for a quick short term trade and targeting around $4. Watch closely how soon it reaches that level, and then accordingly you can either hold some quantity for the higher targets or exit and wait for it to drop further. Okay, great. So with that, I think we have covered most of the request, and we'll pause the analysis session here. So thanks for those who had joined the session, and hope you have a profitable week, and wish you good luck for the coming week. Since the market direction expected is bearish, there is more chances of sell-off. So it's better that you either exit from your positions or be on cash for a good opportunity to enter at lower prices. Um, for those who are looking for market volatility for quick trades, look for shorter targets, and once your target is reached, you can exit, as the volatility could take the prices up and down very quickly. So with that, thanks everyone, and those who are interested in joining our next batch, please feel free to go ahead and register on our website. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. All right, thank you everyone, and see you in the next week analysis.